Hey, what's up? This is Scott from Cancer Bats, and you're watching local band Smokeout Canada.
So, hey, what's up? Devin from local band Smokeout Canada, and I'm here with Scott from the Cancer Bats,
Hey.
Also known as Bat Sabbath.
Yeah, tonight we are.
Tonight you are. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. If you guys haven't seen Cancer Bats, they started up a moniker of sorts where they did a tribute album to Black Sabbath, and in my opinion, in 2017-18, better than seeing Black Sabbath live.
Whoa, dude, that's huge.
Well, I saw them.
I don't agree, just because
I've seen both, and that's my opinion.
I'm humble, but that's, I mean, thank you very much. That's a huge,
there's no doubt you guys are humble.
Yeah, big time. Thank you. I mean, they're still the best above everyone.
No doubt,
for us.
Doubt. As a bassist, Geezer Butler.
Oh, dude. Oh my God, he's amazing.
But actually, with the humbleness mentioned, that's something I've always gone around and told people is you guys blow me away by how humble and personable you are. You're
cool. Thanks, man.
You know, people, we might build you up in our mind to think you're living legends and you're giants, but you guys make it so easy to talk to and stuff, and I really appreciate that.
Oh,
because
thanks, man.
Someone like Liam is such an entertainer, and then he gets off stage and it doesn't stop.
No. I mean, that's who he is.
Yeah, he doesn't seem tired to talk and entertain and make someone smile. So
absolutely.
I've always loved you guys for that, because I always tell other people about it. Cancer Bats, such a humble band. So
awesome.
But I'll move on to the interview.
Cool.
With your first 4 albums, you guys kind of really solidified your sound, to kind of made the Cancer Bats sound known for what it is.
Yeah.
I always found it wasn't like you hear something else and think, that sounds like Cancer Bats. No, Cancer Bats is very unique and stands out.
Oh, thanks, man.
But I personally thought with the Searching for Zero album, after you guys had started the Bat Sabbath stuff, it sounded like you guys had maybe taken a little bit of a change in just kind of your overall sound of the band and stuff.
Yeah.
Was there anything there? Or?
I mean, I think the idea is to always do something different anyway. You know, we're always evolving. I think with Searching for Zero, like we had gone and done a bunch of the Sabbath stuff. And, I mean, some of that was coming through, I think, even on, like, Dead Set on Living. But I think one of the things is that doing the Bat Sabbath thing kind of made us better musicians, too. It was a challenge. It was, like, a big step up for all of us. But also the other thing is, like, working with Ross Robinson, like, he's a huge reason why the record and the sound was as different as it was.
Okay.
Just his producer's influence on the tones for so many things. That's why it's like the record sounds the way it does, because of his production style and his engineering
his touch
style.
Is very much there.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I mean, a lot of the songs were different anyway. You know what I mean? It's just natural. You know, and for us, it's not like a forced thing. It's like we get together and we write what comes out. And it just happened to be a little bit different, and I think we didn't always want to repeat ourselves, and we wanted to just see like what other limits and new places we could take the sound. So it was like, there's times where it's like heavier, and there's times where it's faster and crazier, more thrash, and then there's other times where it's like weird and spooky and dark and kind of gothy or something. But it's like
more openness.
I mean,
for sure.
I think Cancer Bats in general, at least for me anyway, has always been about just like, you know, pushing together and amalgamating all the influences I've, you know, ever experienced. So it's like, for some people on the outside, some of the songs, like, I don't know, if you listen to a song like of Searching for Zero, the song called Dusted, which is kind of the spookier, gothier kind of thing. Well, like, I mean, people might not know, but like the first band I was in was an industrial band, and like I was into really like dark, spooky kind of stuff like that. Yeah. And so I mean, that kind of style of playing was like already there in my head. It doesn't feel like someone different for me, but obviously for like our fans, it's something new. It's like, and you know, some people react well to it, other people aren't. It's not their thing, whatever. You know, I don't think we'd make an entire album of songs like that. For instance, but it's fun to like experiment and see like where we can go.
You're never trying to set limits. Or rules or...
I mean, at the same time, it's like we're conscious the fact that like we don't want to lose the identity of Cancer Bats and like what that means to people. And you know, I think that, you know, for our fans to have like come along, like you say, like, you know, 5 albums strong and stuck with us the whole way, it's like we don't want to just abandon who we are and what we do. Like, I mean, we're always
it's a fine
gonna
line.
try new stuff, but it's like, you know, the idea is kind of like come up with something fresh, don't entirely rip yourself off, but then don't alienate. You know what I mean? And the whole thing is, at the end of the day, it's like any band, and I tell bands that like I work with and like producing their records and stuff. It's like you're gonna make the music you're gonna make. Your fans are gonna choose to like it or they won't. You know, you don't have control over that. You just have control to just like make sure you're doing the best job you can. You know, maybe you're hiring somebody like a producer or whatever to like come in and guide you along that journey, and you're putting your faith in them that they're going to take you down, you know, the right path, and the result is going to speak for itself, and your fans are going to make those decisions. So it's useless to like overthink it. You know, it's just like as long as you believe in it 100%, that's like the bottom line. That's
really
what has to count the most. You know.
Yeah. It actually coincides a lot with one of Jeremy's answers to a question. It's kind of great, but
cool.
Well, that covers that one. What else? Because of course, love of Black Sabbath and everything. But what brought you guys to wanting to actually go out and do the album and then tour on Bat Sabbath and everything?
I mean, the whole thing started as kind of a joke.
Okay.
Because we were playing a festival in England called Sonosphere, which I don't think is really around anymore. But anyways, what happened was Cancer Bats were already playing, and we were friends with the promoter. And basically he was like, yo, I had a band cancel. I have this time slot. Like, we want to fill it in, but it's like you guys have to play like after Slipknot were headlining the festival, and it's like you guys have to go on when Slipknot are done. And we're like, okay, is anyone even going to be there, kind of thing? and he was like, well, yeah, like, because it's like a camping festival. So he's like, so people like stay and they party all night long, so it like makes sense. He's like, but do you want to do any covers or something? Like, let's make it fun, not like another Cancer Bat set. Like, do you want to just like do a fun thing? And we were like, okay. And then I just wrote as a joke in the email chain that we were like talking with him. And I was like, we'll do an all Sabbath cover set and call it Bat Sabbath. And then he was just like, oh my God, you have to do it. Yes. You know, I'll do anything to have you do that. And so like,
you signed yourself up.
Yeah. So we signed, and it was just like, okay, I guess we're doing this. And then we had to learn the songs, and it was just like, it went over really well, and it was cool because it was a surprise because like nobody at the festival knew it was us. And there was all these
they just
like
kept seeing this name.
Yeah, and there was like rumors going around that it was like gonna be, because I guess the Foo Fighters were playing festival too.
Oh, okay.
And someone thought it was like, for some reason, like Dave Grohl had planned something, and like
the rumors just started
so
growing.
just like whatever, and it it was kind of like
for you guys.
it was kind of funny, but it ended up being great, and people were like really surprised, and then it went well, and then we kept getting asked to do it again and again, and I think like after doing that a bunch, we realized like, okay, hey, we can do like little tours as Bat Sabbath in between records.
Yeah.
And and then it was just like we had free time, and we're like, okay, let's book a day in the studio and record like some songs, and then it kind of went as like a second disc to like Dead Set on Living, and like we didn't think it too much. It was like pretty just like, hey, this could be fun, let's do it.
It seems like that same mentality.
Yeah, and then, so like for all that stuff, in the end, it's like this is like a a fun thing for us. It's like, okay, we're not touring on the new record right now or the old. It's just like we're doing Bat Sabbath stuff, and then the cool thing that I really like about it is that in the beginning, especially in Canada for whatever reason, it didn't go over as well in certain places as I thought. But now it's like it's really caught on, and the thing that I like is that I feel like more people have gotten into Black Sabbath. And I don't know if we're responsible, or if it's because I don't think it is. It's probably more specifically because they were doing their final touring, and so people are like, oh, what's this all about? So you're getting like the younger people, and they're getting into it.
A bit of a
and it's like now every Bat Sabbath show we do is amazing.
Nice.
And it's like really stepped up, and it feels like, at least like fun to be like part of that whole ride. You know what I mean? And it's like now like Sabbath is going to be this mythical thing, you know, that like people are going to talk about like,
of course,
you know, years from now, and it's fun that we get to, you know, pay homage to it.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Yeah, it's always been a thing about having fun and just like enjoying great music. And then at the end, you know, we usually throw in a few extra Cancer Bat songs.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, no, I really love the idea. I mean, I personally, my band, we cover War Pigs, and it never fails, because everybody gets excited just when you hear those first two notes. So
absolutely.
I don't think there's any wrong choice on a Black Sabbath song.
Totally.
And I love your guys' name too, the Bastards of Reality.
Yeah.
It'll be like, for me, I've got my Master of Reality patch on the front there.
Oh, sick! That's awesome.
So with all your guys' touring of Canada and everything, there's a lot of great spots and stuff across Canada, but also something I really enjoyed when I saw you guys with Dusty Tucker in Calgary and Red Deer was that they were a really fitting opener. I really liked their sound.
Absolutely.
It was almost like a nice Albertan compliment to the Cancer Bats in a lot of ways. And I was wondering, you've chosen a great lineup tonight. I don't know if it's strictly on you guys or within just the Cancer Bats camp, but are there many other bands that are not getting so much acknowledgement that maybe both that you're producing or that you guys have been playing with?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, all these bands like Dusty Tucker, We Hum Buffalo, Dead Quiet, Wayne Grow and stuff, like all those guys that have been playing these shows, like we're handpicking them, and you know, of course, sometimes people give us suggestions, but we like to check them out and make sure that it's like our fans are going to see great bands when we're coming to town. Like, we want to enjoy it too, right? But yeah, I mean, of course, there's so many good bands that like, especially in Canada, there's tons of talent. Like, I don't know, a bunch of stuff that I've worked on. If you're asking specifically, like, there's an amazing sort of like metalcore band from Toronto called Speaker, which is like kind of like chaotic and noisy, but like dark and kind of crusty. If you're into like Converge or Code Orange, they're really sick. There's this other band, Big Dirty, that I'm producing, which is kind of more like a bit more in the Bat Sabbath end of things. Like they have a strong like down Pantera kind of influence, and that's really great. There's who else? Like there's a band called Out of the Ruins, who is originally from out west, but they moved to Toronto, and it's like a female-fronted, like modern metal kind of thing. It's really great.
I'm always a plus on.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I'm always checking out new bands too. Like there's this. I don't know if you know the band from Victoria. I think they're from Malahat.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like I've checked those guys out.
It's actually a brilliant name for a band.
Yeah, but they're a really talented band. You know what I mean?
And young guys too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like they're nice guys, and it's like I'm always looking for stuff like that, like people who are like really passionate and serious about music and their careers and stuff, and like trying to help bands like that. There's this rad band from Ottawa called Eagleson, which is like way more like, it's kind of like a hard rock sort of thing, but with like a little bit of like a Metallica edge to it. And yeah, man, like there's just so many good Canadian bands, and I get really excited, especially like when I'm going in the studio and it's like I'm helping show them what I've learned along the way, and it's like it's not just about the music. It's about like, okay, like get your head on straight. Here's how you should like think about being in a band. Here's what I've learned. Here's what I've done wrong and learned from that. You know, here's what's worked and what works for a lot of people, and you know, keep pushing that and just trying to like pay it forward. You know, because we had so many people help us along the way, whether it was like with working on songs or our career and stuff like that. And you know, I just like to put that good advice towards the next generation of bands.
Yeah, no, that's right up the alley of the mentality of local band Smokeout Canada. Is something that I love is the fact that with the American show, every 5 episodes or so, you're seeing a Canadian band on there.
Oh, cool.
And that's just the thing, is we don't have enough airspace, it seems like, for the amount of musicians
there's never going to be. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you know, some people say there's a slight disadvantage with being Canadian sometimes. I don't agree to that, because the thing that I've really noticed, especially coming up, you know, like I've been in bands since the 90s, and it's like I really see like how much better everything's got and how much more fellow Canadians care about local music.
Okay, yep.
Whereas, you know, when I was growing up, that like wasn't a thing. We didn't care about local bands at all. Like that just did not cross our radar. And bit by bit, you know, and then you started seeing bands like Alexis on Fire, Billy Talent, like exploding, you know, and then that continues on. So it's like we came after that, you know, and then down the road, band like Monster Truck comes out. And it's like we've known those guys for years in all their old bands. And then eventually they came together and made something extra cool, you know, and learned from what they did. And then, you know, they're the next big thing. And it's awesome, right? You know, it's like we're proud to be, you know, part of all of that and that story. And I really hope that continues. And that's, again, one of the things that feels really good about working with younger bands and helping them make great songs and great albums. It's like, I love the idea of like helping usher in the new generation.
Yeah,
you know,
that's great.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this. Only one more question, actually. A friend of mine from Calgary who helped get me really into this band, and he's a guitarist. He had pointed out that you've been using Nick Huber guitars.
Oh, yeah.
Any specific reason that you've switched over to that? I read a little clip just saying
for me, Nick makes the greatest guitars I've ever played, bar none. I think like in the past I was, you know, hopping from kind of brand to brand, just, you know, growing as a guitarist and trying to see, you know, like there's always the famous, you know, Gibsons and Fenders and you know, all the other like big names and stuff like that. But I've always kind of like wanted to have something more special eventually, especially as I knew what I wanted. And I had some opportunities in the beginning from some other company to like make some you know, custom guitars, so I learned a bit from that.
Okay. Yep.
But then I also learned what I didn't like as well, and it was always a kind of thing for me where I wanted to get a new guitar to like write on for a new album, because there's always like new songs and every guitar
inspiration comes out.
Yeah,
of it.
That's kind of the thing. I really believe that, and so when we were doing Dead Set on Living, I really wanted to get a new guitar, and I had noticed Nick's guitars in some European magazines, and I was like, I've never heard of this builder. This is awesome. This stuff looks great, and like the reviews were like off the charts for the stuff, but it was kind of hard to find. And then lo and behold, I did some research, and there was a local guy in Brantford, Ontario, this like awesome music company called Axe and You Shall Receive. You should look up that website, because
great name.
If you want like the best guitar gear, that is like the place to go.
Axe and You Shall Receive.
Yeah. and anyways, I ended up like making friends with that dude. This guy Scott, is good name. And but anyways, it's just like I ended up finding out like there's this awesome music place run by this wicked dude who's into like tons of cool bands and, you know, into helping local musicians. And I like found out, I was like, oh, you build pedal boards for the guys in Alexis on Fire and Silverstein and stuff like that. And it's like,
so there's already connections.
Yeah, there's always that connection. So it's like I knew that I could trust that guy, and he was like, yeah, I sell Nick Hubers. And I went and I checked some out, and it was just like I fell in love immediately. It was just like, okay, this is like everything I love about like classic stylings, you know, from like the big name companies, but it's like taken up a notch. It's a little bit more refined. There's like modern improvements to those designs too. So it's like looks very classic, just like on the outside, but
it's 21st century.
Yeah, but it's 21st century, and when you sit there and play it, and it's just like the ergonomics of the guitar, the type of wood. So the idea that like, you know, to get guitar geeky on everybody, it's just like, you know, rather than like drilling holes inside the like body of like say like a single cutaway Les Paul kind of shape to like give it weight relief, which we call chambering. Okay, it's like, which is, you know, kind of what that company does, like Gibson. Rather than do that specifically, he would go out and source out better wood that was like just naturally lighter but higher quality, and you didn't have to drill a bunch of holes in it and lose tone, because that changes the sound of the guitar just to do that. And it's like, so you can have a really well balanced instrument but without any of the tonal loss, and with all the playability of, you know, a guy who hand makes, you know, his necks and stuff like that. And then, you know, the thing is like I was playing those guitars, and not a lot of other you know, I guess prominent sort of like heavy musicians were at the time. And you know, the guy bought the guitars from me. He sort of facilitated a way for me to like meet these guys the next time we were in Germany, and then, you know, I struck up a great friendship with Nick, who owns the company, and then, you know, and the people that work for him, and they became really good friends, and yeah, they wanted to make custom guitars for me, and so that's the dream come true for me. It's like, that's it. Like, finally, like, a guy who made guitars so good, I was willing to pay, like, top dollar and go broke to own some of these things.
I think that was the review that I read on it that you had.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I was willing to put my own money into it, and then they, like, came to me and were like, hey, like, we want to make you something. And I was like, sick.
Yeah.
Yes, let's
great.
do it. Oh, my God, that's the dream, you know? Like, and so, like, I just can't look back from that, you know? Like,
of course.
And it's just I'm entirely satisfied with it. It's like, and it's cool because I've made a few customs with him now, and I've been able to refine and say, like, okay, here's what I need to make the perfect Cancer Bats guitar, for instance, you know? And that for me right now is like, some people have seen me play this guitar. It's called a Twangmeister, and basically it's like, the one I have, it has this sort of like crazy green bowling ball swirl finish, and it's like, it's, you know, again, getting geeky and talking about
I'm a
woods.
drummer and a bassist.
It has like it has like a fully rosewood neck. It's not like rosewood fingerboard with like a maple neck or mahogany or something. It's like fully rosewood, which has a really distinct tone with a mahogany body, and it's kind of like a Telecaster sort of shape, but with a bit of the tone, I would say a bit more of like a Les Paul kind of thing, and it's like the perfect marriage of that, and it's really unique, and I've just never played a better guitar, and and again, it's just, I love having relationships with companies that like have really good people, good ethics behind everything they're doing, and so it's just like I don't have to think twice about it. I don't question anything I'm doing in regards to playing those guitars. It's just they work, they're perfect, and I can hang out with those guys, and like, you know, I've gone on like vacations to Spain with those guys. Like,
there you go.
It's
become
awesome.
more than just a guitar company.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
they're like family. You
that's
know?
awesome.
Well, it's cool.
Thanks for doing this, Scott.
For sure.
Really appreciate it. Looking forward to the show with Bat Sabbath and We Have Buffalo and Dead Quiet. And look out for new Cancer Bats on the way afterwards, I guess. Well, until next time.